If you are lucky enough to have lived in Paris as a young man, then wherever you go for the rest of your life, it stays with you. For Paris is a movable feast. Good evening and welcome to Cocktails and Literature. My name is Justin, and tonight we're going to do Ernest Hemingway's A Moveable Feast, his memoir from when he was a young man living in Paris post-World War I. And this was published posthumously in 1964. I'm going to read you an excerpt from chapter 17, Scott Fitzgerald, when Hemingway meets F. Scott Fitzgerald, and F. Scott wants Hemingway to read his new novel, The Great Gatsby. I love this book. It's one of my all-time favorite books, and I love this scene when Hemingway and Scott Fitzgerald meet. According to Hemingway, a strange thing happened, and what that was is, unlike Hemingway, F. Scott Fitzgerald really couldn't hold his liquor. So when he started getting drunk, especially wine drunk, he started getting a little bit crazy, thinking he was going to have all sorts of maladies, be really sick, get drunk, get a cold, get pneumonia, die, whatever. And Hemingway just needs to calm him down. And he does that the best way he knows how, and he does it with a whiskey sour. So here we are in chapter 17. F. Scott Fitzgerald is a little drunk, a little crazy, and he and his wife Zelda are tumultuous, to say the least. "Look, Scott," I said, "you're perfectly okay. If you want to do the best thing to keep from catching cold, just stay in bed and I'll order us each a lemonade and a whiskey, and you can take an aspirin with yours and feel fine, and you won't even get a cold in your head." Then, a couple pages later, when the waiter arrived with the 2 glasses with the pressed lemon juice and ice, the whiskeys, and a bottle of Perrier water, he told me that the pharmacy was closed and he could not get a thermometer. And still just a little bit further on, Scott drank the whiskey sour down very fast now, and he asked me to order another. I found the waiter. Moveable Feast is great. Lots of drinking going on. It's Hemingway and his first wife running around Paris, having a great time, just living life. He's an up-and-coming, struggling writer at the time, and he falls in with all sorts of assorted characters. Ezra Pound being one of them, and F. Scott Fitzgerald being another, Gertrude Stein, and a plethora of others. And it's just a lot of fun. A lot of drinking in this book. It's not just the whiskey sour. He drinks beer, near beer. He drinks sherry. They drink champagne. They drink a Chateauneuf de Pape with lunch, which he doesn't fancy at lunchtime, but they do it anyway. They drink a lot of Muscadet from the Loire Valley, the grape there being Melon de Bourgogne, and they drink a lot of Chardonnay from the lower half of Burgundy called the Beaune, and this is from Macon. It's a Chardonnay from down there, which Hemingway really loves as well. But the whiskey sour is what we're concentrating on this evening. So what are we going to do? Whiskey sour, easy. It's a 3 to 2 to 1 ratio. We're going to do 3 ounces of whiskey to 2 ounces of lemon juice to 1 ounce of simple syrup, and then a couple dashes of egg whites to give it a nice froth and foam and make it really rich and creamy. So we'll use Jefferson bourbon this evening and do 3 ounces here. This is my first 2. And then that's 3 ounces of whiskey. Do 1 ounce of simple syrup. And then just a couple dashes of egg whites. And then like I said, what this does, it's going to make it rich and creamy, froth up really, really nicely. And some fresh squeezed lemon. And I'm going to do 2 ounces here. Now usually I prefer a lot of balance in cocktails. I like to do equal amounts of citrus and simple syrup so the acidity gets balanced out, but not with this one. Because this one here, you need that simple syrup to counteract some of the acidity somewhat and kind of measure it down and taper it off. But what you're really looking for is the lemon to shine through in this one. So you do want it to be a little bit more overpowering than the simple syrup, so it does have a tart taste to it and that sharp little bite of citrus tartness, and it's great. But that's exactly what you want. So, 2 ounces of lemon juice. So quick little recap, 3 to 2 to 1, 3 ounces of bourbon, 2 ounces of fresh squeezed lemon juice, 1 ounce of simple syrup, and a few dashes of egg whites, like I said, to froth it up. Now there's no ice in here yet, because we're going to do a cold shake. When I do a little bit of egg whites, I like doing a cold shake first without any ice cubes, just because you really want to froth up really, really nicely. There we go. See, explodes a little bit. And now that we have done our dry shake, I'm going to shake it with some ice cubes. So like I said, that dry shake makes it nice and frothy. I'm going to shake it again to chill it down and make it frothy still. So the 3 to 2 to 1 ratio of booze, citrus, and sugar, egg whites, dry shake, and now a cold shake. Again, a little explosion, that's all right. And I'm going to pour this over some fresh ice. Whiskey and lemonade, as Hemingway calls it. Whiskey sours to the rest of us. You can see that creamy white foam on top. That's from your egg whites there. I'm going to garnish this off with an orange peel and a maraschino cherry. And there you have it. Do yourself a favor. Live in Paris as a young man or woman. Whiskey sours. Cure for any malady, according to Ernest Hemingway. Speaking of, read the novel. Enjoy the cocktail. Salud.